So what we're going to be dealing with here is, Maya is the main character in the book. She's the domestic terrorist who's had the tiger incident. And she also has a white horse named Aryan that was bred by a neo-Nazi. I know it's a hack gig, but and so she's disappeared and on the search for her missing horse that's been stolen. And her lover, Idrissa, is a few things. He's originally from Western Africa. He's raised in New Orleans. He's black. He's intersexed. If you don't know what that means, the politically incorrect term is hermaphrodite, but he lives as a man. And he's hooked up with Maya's 4 truck-driving, white, kind of racist, homophobic uncles. Think he's a man. And they're going down to Juarez to steal her albino horseback from an auction. So that's where...
This book is great.
That's where it started. That's just the setup. So I'm going to start with Idrissa's dream, and then you'll actually get to meet Vietnam. So this is after he meets the uncles. He takes a nap on the way there, and he has a real bad dream about these 5 guys. Because they're kind of scary guys. The dream came like some weird hell spilling out. Idrissa found himself standing in a dusty hotel room in Juarez, looking out from the 2nd-story window, down onto a black, empty street. A ridiculous tumbleweed blew down the sidewalk, rolling and bouncing, seeming almost to laugh. He heard a creaking and turned around. Beside a mahogany bed topped with water-stained canopy, a red curtain shook in the breeze. "Go get her, boy!" In the hallway, the 5 brothers stood peering into the doorway. "Go get her, boy." They repeated in unison, "Boy, boy, boy," then let up cackling. A gust of wind slammed the door closed, and from behind the red curtain a long leg appeared wearing a sparkling red high-heeled shoe, black fishnets. Its counterpart, the 2nd leg, followed it out, and together they carried in a tall, ancient Mexican transvestite. She wore a long black evening gown, with a slit up the side and a white pearl necklace with small horses carved into the face of the pearls. Her nails were long and painted blood red, matching her high red shadow. Her lips were painted black, and when she smiled, the parting of the black lips revealed teeth sharp as fangs. She grabbed the slit of her dress and pulled it up, posing for him. "I'm bought and paid for," she said in Vietnam's deep, growling voice. She circled him twice, then reclined on the edge of the bed and spread her legs. "Who are you?" he asked breathlessly. "Sweet Melinda." The words fell out of her mouth in sing-song tones of a devilish tune. Through a thick accent she continued, "And I know who you are. You are mine. You always have been." She smiled again, too happily. The wrinkles on her face looked like deep, jagged caverns. He thought he could hear a tiger purring in her stomach. She held up a finger and motioned for him to come. He stepped up to her and took her thighs in his hands. A sickness rose in him with his arousal. Her brown eyes seemed to dance in the candlelight. The yellow canopy trembled above them. "I'm yours," she whispered into his ear. "I always have been." "What do you mean?" She undid his pants and pulled her dress up. She was the same as him, but also the exact opposite. She inserted herself into him and him into herself. You see," she screamed, gnashing her fangs against her bottom lip till blood dripped down. She smeared it on his cheek like an awful kiss and moved his lips with her hands, so he began fucking her. "They'll kill you," she growled. He fucked her harder and felt like vomiting. "Those boys out there will kill you if they know what you paid for. Those real boys out there, those real men, they'll kill us. They will kill us." He watched the white horses on the pearls of her necklace shaking. They began to run away. I'm not wearing all black in this ring because I'm a fucking ray of sunshine. So that section I forgot to mention all the uncles are named out of different countries, and Vietnam is a very grisly uncle. So he's one of the growly boys. My uncle, who's a truck driver who actually was in Vietnam, read this in like 3 days, and I was home recently and I was sitting at the table with him and he was like, that shit about the, and you know, he said that shit about the two hermaphrodites was the opposite, you know. He was like, I was a sailor in the fucking Navy during Vietnam. He said I was at the Gulf of Tonkin. He said, never in all my life have I heard anything that dirty. He's like, you've got some imagination. I said, yeah, it's imagination. He said, I know. I had to put it in a dream in the book. Alright, so I'm going to end with this. This is Idrissa actually in the truck with Vietnam, who's a person, riding down to Juarez to steal a horse from an auction. So, this is a little better. Thanks for listening. You're going to get to know Vietnam a little bit here. And Idris is very proper, as you'll see. The sky looked like orange peels floating on the cloudy blue water. The truck smelled of dust, cigars, and sweat. Conversations crackled over the CB radio, which Vietnam flipped through for a few seconds, then turned down, so that it sounded like low voices coming from another room. We gotta drive ahead of us, Vietnam croaked. His words seemed forced through a filter of pebbles, which didn't make them more clear, clean, or smooth. But it ain't that bad. We should get there around 3 a.m. Border Patrol will be sleepy by then. At least it ain't a red eye. You ever drive a red eye before? Oh no, I don't drive. Idrissa sat straight as a flag stuck in alien soil, as if an upright position might be enough to promote assimilation. What do you mean you don't drive? Vietnam kept his eyes tensed on the road. In fact, his entire body seemed tense and pointing toward the road. Every muscle in him was focused on the road and moving forward, nowhere but forward. The huge bulk of him was just an extension of his truck. Idrissa thought if the truck ran out of gas or a tire busted, Vietnam might just keep on going by sheer unconscious willpower, steering wheel in hand, right through the windshield. Just keep driving. Truck or no truck. Flying at 65 like some dense, lugubrious bird hovering over the highway for eternity. You don't know how to drive, or you don't got a license. Both, Idrissa answered. Vietnam didn't turn his head to look at him, and his face did not change. But Idrissa sensed this statement had inflated some more of that indefinable suspicion these men all seemed to bounce around like a beach ball, never knowing when or on whom it might land, and dependent upon the direction of the wind. He shifted in the bucket seat. Vietnam slammed his large stick from fifth into overdrive and relaxed his shoulders. I'm surprised this old boy gave you the location of this auction. Most of these things down there aren't that legal. Really? Yeah, well, everything's legal down there, I guess. Everything's illegal down there. The cops is criminals, so it's all part of legal. He turned his face for a flash of a second and did what must have been intended as a smile. It looked more like a crocodile showing its teeth, though, the way his mouth opened, but the rest of his face remained unmoved. It's legal down there, but it ain't legal up here. How do you mean? They take American horses down there to sell them for meat. You don't know that? I don't. It's a shame with this repression on. All of us farmers are going broke, horses starving, gotta sell them. Can't nobody buy them to keep them to ride anymore. Gotta sell them one way or another. Mexicans eat them. Mexicans buy them up and eat them easy as cherry pie. Selling our pets to feed the Mexicans, never thought I'd see the day. When I was a kid, it was the other way around. Well, at least that's what they said. Or maybe it weren't the exact opposite. They said those Mexican restaurants here in America were stealing our pets, then feeding them to us. Selling them to us. Cats and dogs for meat, that's how I heard it. They were cat and dog meat at those Mexican restaurants. Either way, we're getting screwed. The Mexicans keep finding new ways to turn our pets into tacos. Do you think Arian could go for me? Idrissa asked. Vietnam scrunched his neck and groaned, churning out a thought. I love tacos. He shook his head. That's how they get ya. Idrissa stared into the rearview mirror, watching the highway pass, and as the light continued to fade. Did you say something, Africa? Oh, they've taken to calling him Africa because he's from Africa. They all have names of different countries. I just asked you if you thought they might be selling Aryan for meat. Vietnam burped, then coughed. Nah, I doubt that. Hank's animals are pretty special. This guy, whoever he is, probably figures he can get a better bid on her down there and get out of taxes and all that. He cocked his head to the side, popping his neck. It cracked loudly. His body was like an old truck in constant need of maintenance. It wasn't automatic. There was a manual mechanism for pushing the gas through, as well as a continual shifting of alignment. I heard, though, that some of these rare and endangered species brought up for fancy hunting games for rich people. You ever heard of that? Idrissa shook his head no. Bring him out to a mansion down south of the border, and these highfalutin millionaires pay thousands upon thousands to go kill themselves a lion, a polar bear, a panda, what have you. The way I hear it, they tie the animals up so they can't get too far. Don't want your game mauling your millionaire. You ask me, though, it takes real pussy to shoot someone that's tied up. That ain't no sport. I guess even most cunts I know wouldn't do that. Takes a real jackass, really. He fidgeted with the radio dial. Hope you don't mind, my stories will be coming on soon. Stories? There's an AM station does this old-style radio mystery show with the low-budget sound effects. It's a real thing. The marbles rattling, glass breaking. Like in the 30s. It's cornball, but that's why I like it. Main character's Ellie, this real hot broad. He wiggled his eyebrows and whistled, alluding to Ellie's hotness. She killed her husband for his money. But what she don't know is he faked his death. Because he knew what she had planned. And he's the one she's gonna gone on a date with last week, but in disguise. She didn't recognize him. She thinks she's in love. She's in trouble, though. He clicked his tongue, and his lip curled up in pleasure. It's been on a couple years. I like to listen when I'm driving. Kills an hour a day. Better than listening to a bunch of assholes yell at each other over politicians. That's all the same guy in the end anyway. Like Ellie's husband and this new guy she thinks she's dating. You're getting fucked by the same guy, the same way, whatever way, anyhow. Just a different face, different hair, different clothes. That's all. Fucking politicians. And then there's the actor druggy news. About actors drugging it up and whoring it all over Hollywood. They always go on about that on the radio. Why do I give a damn if little American heartthrob Miss Mary Sunshine likes to snort some rock and take it up the ass when she's not pretending to be little Mary Sunshine? It's not like these actor Hollywood people have any big responsibility to uphold morality in the world. They just get given teenagers something to stare at while they eat popcorn and give each other hand jobs. What do I care what they do? But the worst on the radio is the rap music. I can't take that rap music. He glanced at Idrissa. Sorry if you like it, but I can't stomach that shit. If you're gonna sing a song, just sing the damn song. Stop talking and sing, for God's sakes. I ain't saying that just because they're black. Idrissa shrugged. I like some old blues stuff, but that rap crap, you can't take it. It makes my damn head hurt, rap crap. Every time I drive to the East Coast, that's all I can get on the radio, that goddamn rap crap. I've been through New York State a few times over the years. Thank the good Lord I only had to deliver in New York City once ever. I swear to God all they have on the radio in the East is that goddamn rap crap. And sometimes some Spaniards screaming into megaphones and ringing bells. Makes my head hurt. I don't know why he said his niece's name, would ever want to go to New York City. Her mom was always wanting to get far away too. Guess it's moved into her head now, but I know she ain't gonna like it. She's a country kid. She got a big heart. There's no space for her in that city. No space for nothing big. No big loving, big men, big trucks. They're little country girls with big hearts. The way people living in those condominiums all packed together like bees in a hive. They're like insects, you ask me. He made a mock buzzing sound. Buzz, buzz, busy bees, worker ants. He hissed out through his teeth, like a disgusted snake. Glad you're from the South, Africa. Louisiana's good. People move slow. No time for people. They look you in the eye down there, say howdy and hey and all. It's good in Louisiana. Didn't seem like he was stopping anytime soon, and there was no space to interject. Idrissa just let him go on with his amusing and enlightening truck driver's armchair philosophizing. Nah, she ain't gonna like it in that city. I can tell you that right now.